in a couple of weeks.
This will be good for Meri. But I never tell Meri what's going on in my heart anymore. It's not actually safe.
So have you just been going back and forth from your house in Flagstaff to the house in Utah, and then you're deciding that you kind of want to just stay there?
David and I are moving in together. We're moving in together. Oh my gosh. We only met a couple of months ago. I'm going to be moving.
Rewatching the whole Vegas saga, it's almost laughable how obvious Kody and Robyn's manipulation was, in hindsight anyway. Remember when Kody casually dropped the bombshell that they had to leave Vegas because of financial reasons, and all of this had to happen in 3 months? Yeah, totally believable. Robyn, of course, pretended to be shocked, but quickly added that she hated living in Vegas. Totally a surprise, right? Then, out of nowhere, they fall head over heels for Flagstaff, a random place they just happened to check out. Kody even took Christine on a romantic getaway to Flagstaff, laying on the affection thick while selling it like a used car salesman. And of course, he tried selling Meri on the idea of new beginnings for their relationship, because that had worked so well before. Meanwhile, Janelle just went along for the ride, no questions asked. The best part? Robyn and Kody couldn't have cared less about how this would break the hearts of the older kids, as long as they got what they wanted, which, surprise, surprise, was all about their own agenda. Now look at them, on their second mansion while the rest of the family gets left behind in the dust. And that's just watching it on TV. Imagine being there, experiencing the behind-the-scenes manipulation that didn't make it to the cameras. I bet Meri knew deep down she had no real choice, no matter what Kody said about new beginnings. I wonder if Christine felt the same way. She didn't just buy a rental in Flagstaff, she bought a house immediately. It's almost like she knew the clock was ticking on her marriage. Then there's Janelle. It's curious, isn't it? She was adamant about not moving her kids from Vegas to Flagstaff, especially since they were all minors at the time. What changed her mind? Kody promised her the moon, but she didn't get anything out of that move except a nasty legal battle to try to get her financial investment back. What made her trust Kody enough to go along with it? And Christine, smart move on her part. She saw the writing on the wall and wisely purchased a home in her name, making sure that when she was ready to leave, she'd have something to walk away with. And let's not forget the real reason they chose Flagstaff. It wasn't some random place. Robyn's son Dayton wanted to go to college there. Conveniently, right when the move is announced, Dayton's accepted into NAU. How's that for timing? I'm curious if Kody or Robyn ever mentioned Dayton's college plans to the other wives when they were first checking out Flagstaff. Something tells me they left that little tidbit out. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. The joys of financial ruin and bankruptcy. It's practically a rite of passage for the sister wives crew, right? So I recently heard on a podcast that Christine filed for bankruptcy during the first year of filming, and then it came out that Janelle had filed years earlier. I mean, really, could this family have survived without some debt drama? Honestly, it makes sense that most of their debt likely came from buying ridiculous things for the whole family, because, well, they did seem to live for that we're a big happy family fantasy. But you know what got me? My utter disdain for Robyn's debt. And then it hit me. It's not just her finances that bug me, it's her entire existence. I don't buy her I didn't know anything about this act. Robyn had everything to do with Kody abandoning his other wives and kids. She practically gloated in it. The more I think about it, the more I realize all these adults have been terrible to each other for years. I'm starting to wonder if any of them would have handled Kody's behavior differently. I mean, let's be real. Christine, Janelle, and Meri have all dipped their toes into the shady waters of pyramid schemes and cared about as much for the people they hurt as Kody cares for anyone who isn't Robyn. Secrets? Oh, they've got plenty. Manipulation? Oh, it's practically their second language. Let's talk about Janelle's role here for a second. Are we really going to pretend that she had zero knowledge about the family's finances? Please, she knew, she just didn't care until she did. For years, she just shrugged. But now that Christine's out and the whole family's unraveling, Janelle's acting like she had no part in any of it. And Christine, while she's playing the role of the wounded ex-wife now, is not fooling anyone. She absolutely told Kody that Meri shouldn't be forgiven. Oh, she feels bad about it now, sure, but she knows deep down that it wouldn't have made a difference. The problem is, Meri's the one still holding on to that grudge. It's honestly starting to make me wonder if I'll keep being a fan of this chaotic mess. Then there's Robyn, who comes into the family with debt. Classic move, right? She gets bailed out by TLC money, and suddenly everyone's supposed to feel sorry for her. Let's not forget she chose to live in a rental, even though Janelle offered her a room in her section of the house. Not to mention, Robyn didn't even work. She then turns around and plans a lavish wedding, takes an 11-day honeymoon, and is just sitting pretty on her debt. Fast forward 3 years, and she's fully aware they're going to buy homes. But did she pay off her debt? Nope. Why would she? There's still TLC money to be had. I mean, is it really too much to ask for her to, take some responsibility? How much debt was it? 30? 3 years of TLC money, and she couldn't scrape that together. She had the opportunity and chose not to. A true opportunist. And as for Christine's feelings toward Meri, don't even get me started. Sure, she's acting all sympathetic now, but let's not forget, she's been openly jealous of Meri for ages. Now that she's no longer in the mess, she's suddenly feeling bad, but not bad enough to let Meri back in the fold. Finally, Meri. We can talk all day about her faults, but rewatching the show and seeing how the other 4 adults just pile on her, it's honestly painful to watch. And it wasn't just the catfishing drama, the mistreatment goes way back. If anyone seems to genuinely feel bad about how they treated Meri, it's Janelle, and honestly, I think she's been carrying that guilt for a long time. So yeah, the family drama, the financial mess, the bitterness, it's all starting to get exhausting. Oh boy, where do I even begin with this? So I was rewatching the episode where they visit the Dargers and Kody casually mentions having another child. Cue Robyn immediately throwing a tantrum, getting all pissy. Then we cut to her talking head, where she's all upset and saying, well, since the other wives are done having kids, he must be talking about me, right? And I'm sitting there like, are you serious, girl? Like, what? She starts going off about how this is her reproductive destiny or some nonsense, and how Kody has the audacity to even suggest such a thing. And I'm like, hold up, wasn't this the same woman who not only inserted herself into the other wives' marriages, but also repeatedly brought up Meri's fertility struggles? Meri, who had already said, I've come to terms with not having more kids, yet Robyn dragged that whole thing out for what felt like centuries. Oh, now suddenly you're mad about the whole kid thing. Not nice, as my 3-year-old would say. And then there's that ridiculous conversation with Kody outside her house, which I can't even remember the season or episode of because who cares, right? It's the one where she starts talking about how she's seen her future spirit baby boy with brown hair. Like, Robyn, really? You're just making up entire families now? She could honestly write a book on how to tell lies upon lies. It would be a bestseller. How much longer do you think this is going to last? Serious question. The original cast is thriving these days. Christine's got a book coming out. Janelle's busy building her empire, and Meri? Oh, she's living her best life and loving every second of it. The TLC paycheck is looking less and less important to them, so I'm genuinely curious if they'll even stick with the show. Sure, people love to hate-watch Robyn and Kody, but without the OGs, what's left to really despise? I'm betting Sister Wives doesn't have much of a future without them. Honestly, I could see the show wrapping up after next season, with maybe a few specials or rewatches to keep the nostalgia flowing. Who knows? Maybe Janelle and Maddie could get a spin-off for their farm. Christine or Meri could turn their book tours into a whole new series. People would probably tune in for that. But honestly, these seasons of a fractured family, with zero hope for resolution, feel way past their expiration date. It's hard to imagine this dragging on much longer. And let's be real, does anyone actually care about a Kody and Robyn special? Doubt it. Janelle and Meri probably still need the show income. Janelle's farm is likely getting a boost from TLC, and those Plexus top earner checks aren't exactly buying luxury yachts. They top out around $30,000. As for Meri, the B&B's closed to guests now, and LuLaRoe's no longer making it rain, so I'm guessing the show is still funding her life. Christine? She could probably make it off David's income and her Mo property, which seems to cover the costs and will likely appreciate over time. But let's be real, she's still loving that sweet TLC paycheck and the attention that comes with it. Okay, so I feel a bit like a jerk for thinking this, but does my Keltie come off as completely disingenuous to anyone else? Or is it just me? I mean, I'm sitting here watching her engagement storyline, and I can't put my finger on it, but something just feels off. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but it just doesn't seem authentic, you know? Honestly, I wonder if what we're seeing on TV is just some exaggerated personality for the cameras. I remember Christine saying that she's way more relaxed with Tony than she ever was with the family, and it kind of felt like she had to act a certain way to get attention. So maybe that's what we're getting from my Keltie, her TV personality, and all the forced drama that goes with it. At least that's my take on it. Now, I know this isn't the most popular opinion, but I'm gonna throw it out there. I honestly think my Keltie got the short end of the stick growing up. Like, it wasn't just the parents that treated her poorly. Even the older girls had their moments. She always seemed like the outcast, just trying to desperately fit in. I can't stand Robyn, but I feel like she saw that and swooped in to try and mother my Keltie. I guess that's why my Keltie has such a soft spot for Robyn, even though she knows Robyn played a massive role in the unraveling of her family. It's like, oh, how convenient. My Keltie gets under my skin, but I almost feel sorry for her because I think she's just still searching for her place in all of this. Even years later, it's like she's stuck trying to fit in. And okay, don't come for me, but I wouldn't be shocked if my Keltie has some form of autism. I mean, just her awkwardness and those no-filter moments where she just says whatever pops into her head. It's like she has zero social filter. My son is autistic, and he's the same way. It's just, bam, truth, no matter how socially acceptable it is. I know it drives people nuts, but I can't help but feel for my Keltie on some level. She just doesn't seem to have ever really found her place in the family. Honestly, looking back at the early seasons, it's pretty clear some of them were big fans of The Office and got the memo that their lives were basically a reality show improv sketch, and my Keltie, especially, was in on the joke. She's actually kind of funny when you view her through that lens. She's self-aware, knows she's ridiculous, and is fully aware that her family is pretty wild. And surprise, surprise, I actually checked out her Patreon, and guess what? She's actually really sweet and a great mom. People just don't get her sense of humor, which is very sarcastic. Sometimes it comes off as rude, but hey, it's quirky. Plus, she admits that she suffers from word vomit at times. So I can't be too hard on her for that. Kody, classic case of wanting the money and doing absolutely anything to get it. You really saw the strings being pulled when coronavirus hit. That's when Robyn's behind-the-scenes control came into full view for everyone. Honestly, I never quite understood why people had such a strong hatred for Robyn until I saw it in action. Sure, she's selfish, but Kody, he's the real mastermind here. He spent so much time gaslighting these women he had a commitment to, just to keep their cash flow going. He even had the audacity to voice his concerns about a man using Christine for her money when she mentioned wanting a divorce. Oh, the irony. That's exactly what he was doing. He manipulated everyone, making sure they stuck around, all while being completely checked out, but hey, securing their money? That was priority number one. So I'm watching this, and let me tell you, wow, I'm completely stunned by the level of financial obliviousness going on here, especially from Meri. She acts like she has zero clue about her own finances, and frankly, I'm amazed. These two are chatting about the family pot, but hold on, who exactly has access to this magical fund? Is it everyone, or is Kody the only one playing around in it? Then, Meri drops this gem about it being normal to steal from Peter to pay Paul. Wait, what? I'm no financial expert, but I've never stolen from anyone to cover my bills. Is she seriously suggesting that they're just taking money from one person to pay another? Or is she talking about taking out loans to pay off other loans? Because, let's be real, their entire financial situation sounds like a nightmare. It's giving me major anxiety just thinking about it. For the record, robbing Peter to pay Paul is actually a metaphor. It doesn't mean you're literally robbing someone. When I was struggling, I'd delay paying my phone bill Peter so I could pay my light bill Paul because I knew they'd cut off my electricity before they'd cut off my phone. It's not ideal, but it's not actual robbery, Meri. Get it together. Now, when Janelle talks about how she almost wrote a check from the family account to make a purchase in the early Flagstaff days, and how she had to send out text messages asking who bought what, yeah, that definitely means they all had access to it. If Christine's checks were being directly deposited into this so-called family account, which, let's be real, she had to be earning her own paycheck for mortgage purposes, then yeah, she's probably on the account too. But here's the kicker. The complete lack of financial knowledge is honestly mind-blowing. Meri even fed false information because she's so out of the loop on the property stuff. Seriously, how can you be so disconnected from your own financial situation? It's honestly insane. Did Kody really want the big house in Flagstaff, or was it just a carefully concocted storyline by the producers? I mean, listening to Surviving Sister Wives has me hearing it in my head as Biggie Housey now. Honestly, I think the big house was about as real as the rest of the show's plot lines. Kody knew Christine wasn't having it, Meri was already checking out emotionally, and a good chunk of the kids were either grown or living their own lives. So no, I don't buy that he was all in on that idea. But do I think he wanted it? Oh, absolutely, mostly because it would have fed his fragile ego. I mean, come on, building a castle would have given him the status he clearly craves in the polygamy world. A big house would have made them look like a happy, functional, successful family, an image he's obsessed with maintaining. Take his interaction with Joe Darger, for example. Kody practically worships Joe because he's got multiple wives living together, working together, looking like some perfectly synchronized polygamous dream team. Remember when Kody insisted they all drive in one car to visit the Dargers? Not the minivan, though. No, they had to take the nicest car so Kody could strut around like, see, Joe? We're totally a cohesive, successful family, too. It's all about appearances. Plus, let's be real, the big house would have been a way to trap the wives. If they wanted to leave, they'd be stuck with an expensive property they couldn't sell easily, all while Kody would have access to their resources. It wasn't about building a family home. It was about keeping them in his grasp. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.